An alternative form of investing could come in the form of classic and collectible vehicles. It is an asset class. A new showroom opening in Cape Town is providing South Africans with more opportunity to explore this as an alternative investment. Joining us now to explain more about this venture and the industry as a whole is Gareth Crossley, co-founder of Crossley & Webb. Crossley & Webb sounds like a good name for a car, but it's actually a company that does classic cars. We're going to have a look at some of these pictures of your cars, but let's talk firstly about, there we've got some of them there now. Okay. That's your warehouse, I think. They're parked outside. Looks quite an industrial area.
Yeah, that's our lifestyle venue in Wembley Square in Cape Town.
Yep.
And we're converting that building into a destination venue so that the public can, learn about classic cars as an investment.
It looks like a Bentley there, and I'm not sure what that is. I don't know my cars very well,
That's a Maserati. These are the cars from our Curie 25 Supercar Club.
Uh-huh.
So this gives our clients the modern alternative and the most financially intelligent way of driving a variety of modern supercars with international access.
Well, I'm interested in how you start a company like this and what the risks and rewards are and could be. But let's start by why people buy these classic cars. So first of all, definition. What's a classic car?
Well, classic cars the term is normally applied to cars between 20 to 40 years old. We concentrate on classics, investment grade classics from the 60s, 70s and 80s. But there's also modern classics now, and that's where the big opportunity is for South African buyers because there are more of them in the country. Yeah.
So now there are clubs. You've got Jaguar clubs and you've got Aston Martin clubs. I had someone from Aston Martin in here a couple of weeks ago. And you've got the Ford Thunderbirds from the 60s, classic cars that in themselves are valuable. So what motivates people here? Is it that they just develop a passion for a particular brand and they will pay anything to get it?
It's very much an investment of passion, like art collecting, wine collecting, watch collecting, and there are various indices that measure, investments in classic cars now internationally. So the passion element is very important. I think these days, due to the poor performance of traditional investments, investors are looking at tangible investments of passion. That's why they're looking to put money into classic cars.
I suppose it varies from brand to brand, but the appreciation of these cars. Are there people who would buy, say, a classic Aston Martin, the James Bond Aston Martin, for example, or a Rolls Royce, on the basis that it's a nice car, but I'm buying it in order to sell it in 5 years for a very good return? Or is it, I just want it and I'll keep it forever?
There's a mixture in the markets. In the late 80s, there was a classic car boom, and it was full of speculators. These days, with the internet, with great classic car events such as Pebble Beach, Goodwood, Festival of Speed, and the Revival, there are a larger base of enthusiasts, and also the growth in China and in Asia in terms of collectors that want to add these rare cars to their collections, like fine works of art. It's really changing the scope of the market to enthusiasts that benefit from true growth in vehicles rather than them being speculators.
Is it possible to say what the best possible investment would be in classic cars at the moment? A particular car, a particular brand?
A particular brand that's always at the top of the list is Ferrari. Ferrari has the heritage, it has the passion, it has the story behind it. And that what really drives, investment in that brand.
My impression is that the only place you can actually drive it is at Kyle Army Racetrack, and apparently they have days where you could go and do that with these special cars.
That's correct.
But I'm also interested in you starting a business from an entrepreneurial point of view. So it's yourself, Gareth Crossley, and then there's your partner, Webb. What's his name?
Brian Webb.
Brian Webb. Now, how did you get into this?
I was involved in the motor industry for the last 15 years, always at the high end. The last 7 years I was with the Ferrari and Maserati importer, and I observed certain peculiarities in the markets, certain cars going up in value, certain cars plummeting, and during my time at Ferrari at the factory, I was exposed to the classic restoration business and developed a strong passion specifically for classic 60s Ferraris. I've always wanted to own my own business, but also give a service to the client. And when you're a manufacturer, you're driven to satisfy the manufacturer and the business as a whole. So we've set up a business to act as an independent advisory, but also diversify the business so that we're not just an advisor / car dealer. We use our 4 specialist divisions to provide the most financially intelligent mix of motoring assets and services for the clients.
How crowded is this market that you've come into?
The market from mid to high end for classics is not that crowded in South Africa. The primary reason for me starting the business is because there's a big gap between the education level and the market in Europe compared to South Africa. And what I'm finding is that many European dealers and buyers are actually poaching the best classics from South Africa. And I care about the market, and that's why I've also set up the business, because unless we educate and provide a platform for the high-end cars in South Africa, they're all going to go overseas, especially with the exchange rates being so favorable in their favor.